I was telling Erin, it was great that you and her took the time to just kind of like on your own, just practice via Skype and things like that. We talked about at the first table read we did at Starbucks, you guys took it upon yourselves to exchange contact information and things like that. So that was first time I had encountered something like that, and I was very appreciative of that. And because we only did like one rehearsal where we just kind of worked out the kinks, and then once we got on set, you guys were just ready to roll. You didn't look at the script at all, and you kind of just went off to the side and just practiced with one another. So that theater, I would say that theater training does help because, and again, I mentioned too that that was the first time I learned the terminology off book.
Yeah.
Because, memorizing your lines. So, yeah, we talked a little bit about that, and then could you talk a little bit about what that process was like between you and Erin? Just kind of taking the time to practice with one another, and then you yourself committing the lines to memory.
Yeah. Erin was very great to work with. That's one thing. She was very receptive. And when you work with people like that, as well as yourself and the entire team, when you work with people like that, it makes you more comfortable to be flexible as well. So personality does play a role in it. But as far as rehearsing with her, we wanted to do that because it was very dialogue heavy. So we wanted to make sure that we kind of had a rhythm so we could have a feel or a sense for each other's acting style. So we can figure out, do we need to change that? I like that, but what if you tried this? Different things like that. And to get the flow, because it's conversational, so we don't want to sound so robotic and so much like we just memorize these lines. We kind of wanted to feel that out. So we did Skype, and when we did, we created kind of a backstory for our script. We decided what our relationships were to the people that we were talking about. We were very specific about it. We talked about what do each of us want as a character in the scene or in the entire production, like what is our end goal? Why is it so important to us? And how we can make that clear when we're performing it. So that was very helpful. As far as the lines go, being off book is just very helpful. It's very helpful for you to be more flexible and to be able to actually get into the character, because if you are so in your head about what your lines are, which I mean, it still happens, but if you're so caught up about what your lines are, but you haven't taken the time to pay attention to what the story is and, where you fit in it all, then you're just saying lines and you're acting, you're not being. And
right.
Acting is the title, but to be a good actor, you have to be just that. You just have to
right.
This, and you have to help that come through. So it was very helpful because it also got us comfortable with each other. So when we get on set, then we're a little bit more comfortable with each other, a little bit more natural. So.
Right. And you're preaching everything that I talk about is that I try to convince, any of my actors to commit the story to memory so that you're only just focusing on what your performance is like and how you're going to interact with the other person. You already know what they're going to say and you can anticipate it. And then that way too, I can just focus on you guys' performance and making sure all the technical stuff is good so that I can capture the best performance possible from you guys. So yeah, all of that is great. You hit all of that good. And hopefully any other up and coming actors and actresses that see that kind of take that to heart, that you will help producers and screenwriters and directors out greatly if you can memorize your lines. So